to the last of the Wills and Estates Facebook Live series. Before we get into today's discussion, I just wanted to remind you that the contents of this presentation does not constitute legal advice, is not intended to be a substitute for legal advice, and should not be relied upon as such. It's designed and intended to provide general information in summary form only for general purposes. Now, today we're going to be discussing other important documents that you should consider when you are undertaking your estate planning. So we spent the last two discussions talking about your will, which deals with your estate once you pass away. However, whilst this is important, there are other important documents that need to be considered that will deal with matters whilst you are still alive but are incapacitated. And this can be for many reasons. The most, obvious or common is legal incapacitation. And this could arise from either a car accident or something of that nature, or for dementia or Alzheimer's or another illness where legal capacity is affected. The three documents that we'll discuss today are an enduring power of attorney, an enduring power of guardianship, and an advance health directive. An enduring power of attorney, which is commonly referred to as an EPA, is a legal document that a person can make that gives another person the authority to make legal, financial, and property decisions on their behalf. So it is important to consider making an EPA in case you lose capacity to make independent and informed financial decisions in the future. An EPA can be made by anyone over the age of 18 who has full legal capacity. Where a person has property, it is important to remember that an EPA must be lodged with Landgate in order for it to be effective. If this is not done within 3 months of executing the EPA, then Landgate will require an additional statutory declaration to be sworn either by the person that made the EPA or the person that has been appointed as the attorney under the EPA to declare that it is still valid. You can appoint a primary attorney, you can also appoint substitute attorneys, and you can make these general or you can put restrictions or conditions on them. You can also choose whether it comes into effect immediately on signing and then stays of effect once you lose legal capacity, or you can choose that it only comes into effect once you lose legal capacity. In the latter, you will have to, or your attorneys will have to, obtain an order from the State Administrative Tribunal that you have been declared legally incapable. For the former, it simply takes effect once you lose capacity. So again, the EPA is where you're appointing someone to make legal, financial, and/or property decisions on your behalf. The other document is an enduring power of guardianship, and this is commonly referred to as an EPG. And this is a legal document that authorises a person of your choice to make important personal, lifestyle, and treatment decisions on your behalf, should you ever become incapable of making such decisions yourself. An EPG safeguards your interests if you are no longer able to make reasoned decisions for yourself. And again, to make an EPG, you must be over 18 and have full legal capacity. Likewise with the EPA, you can appoint a primary guardian, and you can also appoint a substitute guardian. And again, it can be general or it can have restrictions or conditions attached. Unlike the EPA, the EPG does not need to be registered with another body, and it only comes into effect once you lose legal capacity, but this does not need to be determined by the State Administrative Tribunal. The last of these important documents is the Advance Health Directive, and this is where you can make specific treatment decisions. So this could be as general as you electing not to be resuscitated or not to receive treatment decisions if you are in a vegetative or terminal phase of an illness, that you will not recover from, to not receive treatments other than those that will preserve your dignity and make you comfortable, even if they have the effect of shortening your life. Or it can go all the way through to being very specific as to whether you do or do not want to receive blood transfusions, bone marrow transplants, resuscitation, anesthesia, really whatever restrictions or conditions you would like in place. Again, to make an AHD, you have to be 18 and have capacity. When we're talking about the AHD and the EPG, because these are often bundled together, because they both deal with health decisions. If something were to happen, the hierarchy is that a doctor or a medical practitioner or a health practitioner would consider an AHD first. So if you had one of these, they would look at the contents of it, and if the treatment that was being proposed to be provided was referred to in the do or do not list in the AHD, they would then act in accordance with that. If you didn't have an AHD or the treatment proposed was not covered in the AHD, then they would refer to the EPG, and that is when they would then consult your guardian as to whether or not the proposed treatment should be provided. So again, just to sort of cap off, the EPA, enduring power of attorney, allows you to appoint someone to deal with property, legal and financial decisions on your behalf. The EPG, enduring power of guardianship, enables you to appoint someone to deal with health, lifestyle and personal decisions on your behalf. And the Advanced Health Directive enables you to determine specific treatments that you do or do not want in the event you are legally incapable. So these documents are just as important to consider when doing your estate planning as your will, because unlike your will, they will deal with situations when you are still alive but no longer have capacity to be able to deal with them yourself. If you have any further questions regarding these documents or anything I've discussed over the last couple of days in relation to wills and estates, please get in contact with myself or another team member at Bailiwick Legal. Enjoy the rest of your day.